sage, and I thought that I would try and document the process of me making my own dress. I don't really like the clothes that you can find in the stores, so I thought that I'd try and make something more unique in my style, and I thought it would be fun, especially since I've gotten into hand sewing, which is good because my sewing machine is not working right now, and I can't really go out right now and just get it serviced, you know. So this whole thing will be done without my machine, and I'll have to do it all by hand, which is totally fine with me because I really enjoy it. For the first project, I thought that I would start with something easy because I'm still a beginner when it comes to sewing clothes. I've made a few things in the past, and I've repaired some of my clothes, but I haven't made a full-on item that I can wear. And so I was thinking about it, something that I thought would fit my own style and something that would be unique for me, but also easy. And I also kind of wanted to incorporate a little bit of my heritage in there, and with it. And so I'm a fourth Greek. I'm part Greek, and so I went back. I did a little bit of research. I didn't do a lot of research for this project, and I went back and I looked at some of the original clothes that the I think it's called the Classic period, what they would wear. And so there was like two styles of like dresses they would wear, and one of them is just like a giant piece of cloth that you just wrap around yourself and then like clip, and then the other is a tube that you pull up and it flips over and then you clip here. And so that type of dress is called a peplos or peplos. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, but I thought that I could try and make something like that. So I want my dress to be more inspired by rather than a complete recreation of a peplos dress. I will be pulling things from that dress, but also pulling things from my own personal like style and what I really enjoy, because so with peplos dresses or garments, I don't know, for women they would wear them and they would go all the way down to the floor, and for men, because they wore basically the same thing, it would go down to their knees. And I personally am not interested in really long dresses to wear casually, and so I will be making my dress shorter. I like it to go to my knees. So when you look back at the Classic period and you see recreations of these types of dresses and like the style, we always see people imitating them, and it's always in white. Upper class Grecian people, they had very colorful clothing, and it wasn't this white that we associate with that time period and those types of people today. So when I was looking for fabric for this, actually, like, I wasn't trying to find this fabric, I was just like browsing the fabric section at Hobby Lobby, and I found this this fabric, and I thought it was absolutely perfect. Probably can't see it on camera, maybe I'll put it in a picture, but it's it has these silver sparkles, and like there's a swirly pattern that kind of reminds me of the ocean. And since Greece is it's a peninsula, as far as I thought this fabric was perfect for this project because it reminds me of the ocean. And going along with these like silver pieces of glitter within the fabric, I thought that I would get these clasps. Well, I found them too the same day I found this fabric. Again, I might have to insert a photo because of the glare. The gold and silver clasps that will help hold the dress up, because they had these clips that would they would scrunch up the fabric and clip it together when they wore it, and we don't really have anything like that today. So these, they're clasped, I think they're meant to like clasp on if you have like a jacket or something, and then you can unclip it. And so I'll do that, which I'm not sure how well that will work out. It might turn out that the fabric in the dress is too heavy and it might dig into my shoulders, but hopefully it won't do that. And well, I guess we'll see when we find out. I will have to have a belt to wrap around, so that could potentially hold up the weight of the lower half of the dress, and so it won't be pulling as much on the clasps. And so hopefully it'll work out. I think I'm really glad that I was able to find these things at Hobby Lobby. I was like so surprised, and then maybe I'll have to use these gold ones for something else. Maybe like I want to make a cloak out of this like purple and black plaid fabric that I found at Goodwill, and maybe I'll like clasp it with the gold ones. That would be really cool. So yeah, those are my plans for this dress, and I'm really excited, so let's get started. So when it comes to this kind of dress, it's gonna matter less that it goes just around your body. You also have to measure how it's going to fit around your arms. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to wrap it around myself and use safety pins to secure it to my body in the way that I want it to fit on myself when I'm going to be wearing it. So yeah, it's a little bit awkward right now. There's a lot of excess fabric because I bought like 12 feet of fabric just because I liked it so much. And yeah, I think I'm gonna make a few more adjustments before I start sewing, but this is the basic concept. It was a bit hard, not gonna lie, it was a bit hard to pin it, but to be fair, back in the day they had servants to help them dress, and I'm just me, so this is a bit better. I am going to have to cut some off the bottom, which is fine, and then so I went ahead and I trooped up my markings, made sure that I was using like full measurements and not just like doing it on a whim, even though that's basically how I live my whole life. And then oh, by the way, I did pre-wash this fabric before I started this video. I'm going to cut my tail off and then I will start the sewing. not perfect, but compared to some of my previous work, definitely better. And now we officially have a tube. Okay, so we officially have a tube. Now, if we were back in the day, what we would do is we would pull the tube of fabric onto our bodies and then flip it over like so and then clip it, right? But with my fabric, here's the right side and I flip it over and there's the wrong side. So what I need to do, because I'm not going around with the wrong side of fabric out, what I need to do is take some of that extra fabric and cut it up and cut up a piece to sew to the top so that it simulates that flipping over or that draping over part. Yes. And then we can put the clasps on. Yes. Sound good? Thank goodness that's over. It took forever. So I just put in some safety pins where I'm going to put in the clasps just to try it on, and I've been wearing it for a while and I think it's pretty good, except for all this fabric under my arms. So I'm probably gonna have to fix that. I'm probably gonna have to go in and cut away some fabric, maybe put in a dart. So here's what the dress looks like so far. As you can see, all this fabric right here under the arms, but it looks fine if I have my arms down. It's awkward a little bit. I didn't have a belt, so I made this belt myself out of an old shirt that I thrifted. So I'm nearly done with making the belt. As you can see, this fabric's really difficult to work with because it keeps fraying, but I'm nearly done. I just need to flip it inside out and then do the edges, and then I can press it and move on with the dress. Belt done. Check. I'm kind of liking the length that I have right now. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I kind of like it. When I finally decide to hem the bottom of the dress, which is the thing I'm gonna do last, I will pin it up higher and I will pin it lower just to see what kind of length I want to keep on the dress. So this is the front of it, the side, and the back, and the other side. What I want to focus on today is doing what I believe to be probably the hardest part of this entire project, which is sewing on the metal filigree clasps that will be the closure for the dress. One, because I don't know exactly how to pin them on the dress in order to keep them in place to sew them on, and I also don't know exactly how to sew them on. I'm probably going to have to look it up. I tried to film myself sewing this on, but it was kind of impossible, and I was still trying to figure out what I was doing. When I looked up to see how you're supposed to sew these on, I didn't find anything, so I just kind of had to wing it. I think the results are pretty good. You can't really tell where the thread is, but I just went around to some of the spots, and I sewed around the metal a few times, and then I moved on. It's pretty secure. I don't think it's coming off anytime soon, and so this is what it looks like on the back. Kind of messy, but it's on the inside, so it doesn't matter. Now what I'm going to do is go ahead and sew on the other 3 of these. So I finished sewing on the clasps, and this is how it looks with me wearing it. Actually, I really like how it turned out. For some reason, I was imagining them being a lot bigger and more, like, making more problems in my head before I sewed them on. I thought that they were gonna, like, pull the fabric out and it was gonna, like, look weird, and I don't know why I thought the dress was going to be really heavy. It doesn't weigh on my shoulders as much as I thought it would. Thank goodness. I'm really glad about that. And then I went ahead and finished off this top edge of the flap thing. And so now the only thing left to do is to pick how long I want the dress to be and then to hem it, and I will be finished. I am currently editing the video, and I realized that the clip that I made where I was showing how long I decided to make the dress, you couldn't even really see how long the dress was on me. So I chose to go with a shorter length. I went with at my knees like I had originally planned, and the amount of fabric I took off of the bottom was about 6 inches. And just like that, I have finished. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think it looks really good. For a moment there or two, I thought that it maybe wasn't going to turn out, and I was happy with the direction in which it was going, but it turned out and I'm really happy with it. It's really cool to think that I was able to take some thread and some fabric and make something wearable out of it. I think it's really comfy too. I enjoy wearing it. I don't know where I will wear it though, not that I can really go out and wear it at the moment. But in all honesty, this whole thing was just an experiment for me, and even if it hadn't turned out well, I still would have had this experience of trying to put it together, and I actually have a lot of inspiration for projects I might have in the future. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you for coming along on the journey with me. Hopefully this video gave you some inspiration as well, and if not, at least hopefully it gave you some entertainment.